Hey beloveds, I hope you are good. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you steps which will help you be more vulnerable. A couple of days ago, I posted a post on why people struggle to be vulnerable, but I won't leave you hanging. These are a few steps that will help you actually to be able to speak up, to own your feelings, to just be a bit more compassionate with yourself. So the first step in order to be vulnerable is that you need to be vulnerable with yourself, right? Because you can't be vulnerable with others if you're not vulnerable with yourself. And what does that mean? That means that you have to be honest with yourself about how you feel, honest with yourself with the fact that you're hurt. And then you have to allow yourself to feel those feelings. Most people struggle to be vulnerable because they aren't even aware of the emotions that they're going through, right? So you can't be vulnerable and say to others, I am going through this, if you haven't acknowledged it yourself. You can't be vulnerable and say, I'm sad, I need your support, I need help, if you haven't even acknowledged it yourself. So you have to start by acknowledging that what happened to you, what is happening to you, what the circumstances are around you are maybe making you feel sad, overwhelmed, angry, or helpless, right? And you have to acknowledge those things and then allow yourself to feel those things, because without emotional awareness, right, we can't really permit ourselves to feel things. And if we can't permit ourselves to feel things, right, we can't really work on changing those things or speak up about those things. So it starts with acknowledging and being vulnerable with yourself with the most gentle and the most amount of compassion that you can have towards yourself, right? And so that's step one. Be vulnerable with yourself and create a safe space for you to be honest with yourself, right? That means not judging your thoughts, not judging the emotions that you have around the situation that you're currently going through or have been through. All right. And the next thing is that understand that you deserve for people to show up for you, but people cannot show up for you if you do not speak up about it, right? A lot of times people say, oh, I'm the strong one. I'm the one that people come to, and they struggle to be it's easy for other people to be vulnerable with them, but they struggle to be vulnerable with other people. So that speaks into the fact that people won't know what you're going through unless you speak up. People cannot support you, be there for you if you don't know. So you also deserve the amount of love and the amount of attention or compassion that you've been giving to other people, right? But people can't give that to you. And especially if they're used to relating to you in a certain way, they definitely won't be able to give that to you. So you have to give yourself permission to just speak up about it, to ask for help, right? To say, hey, I'm not okay, right? And to actually say, you know what, today, I need you to just listen and not give advice, or just listen. So it means that, yeah, people can't show up for you if you don't give them the space to show up. All right. The next thing is that do it anyway, right? So vulnerability is not the easiest thing to do. I can tell you that I used to shake and tremble when I had to talk about my feelings, when I had to talk about, I still struggle sometimes to ask for help even till this day. But it's taken practice, right? To ask for help, to receive the help, right? So it's not just about asking for help, but also learning to receive the help, to say it's okay to need other people's help. It's okay. Vulnerability is not weakness. Needing help is not weakness. Needing somebody to talk to is not weakness, right? But you really have to just go ahead and do it anyway. So I did that. So ways in which you can actually do that is by practicing, right? Find somebody that you trust, right? And which is the other part of vulnerability, is that you can't just go and be vulnerable to everybody, because you might go and be vulnerable to the wrong person and they may not react or give you the support or compassion that you need in that situation, and then which will switch off completely. Even if that happens, just know that this is not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. If somebody you thought you could speak up about something makes you feel bad, judges or etc., judges you about that particular incident which you're trying to be vulnerable about, right? That means they were the wrong person for you to share that particular thing with, right? So one, you really need to know your people. So if you don't have anybody around you, maybe try to speak to a professional, somebody who can help you process your emotions, process everything that you're going through. Or and if you do, look into who do you trust, who has always been there for you, who do you know, trust your intuition. I think you know deep down who are the people that you can actually speak to, the people that have always shown you kindness, compassion, patience, and love, right? So those are the people that you can go and speak to. And this is why also people find it easier to speak to strangers than they do to speak to people that they know, because sometimes they get so much rejection, right? And then, yeah, so really just do it anyway. I used to shake, tremble, cry when I spoke about my feelings a lot. But now I've improved, and it takes a lot of work to get to that space. And just make sure you create that safe environment, right? You are now safe to speak up, right? Because a lot of people stop being vulnerable because of past experiences, traumas in their childhood, things that they went through that caused them to build these walls to protect themselves. But now you need to acknowledge that it's safe and give yourself, allow yourself to just speak up, right? Allow yourself to be in the now. Understand that you can't move to where you want to go if you're going to keep doing things the same way, right? So not being vulnerable is not serving you. If you keep these things in, they will not serve you. So find somebody you trust who you can speak to. Be vulnerable with yourself first. If you don't have anybody, and if you are not ready, then at least just write letters to yourself, write notes, and just have these honest conversations with yourself. Vulnerability will always start with you, right? I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching. I'm Yvette Ratshikhopha, author, life coach, and entrepreneur. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All right. Cheers. Until next time. Be vulnerable. Vulnerability is your power.